Sometimes I still hear your voice. It's telling me you'll catch my fall. So how do I feel the ground?
In the heart of frost-born palace, where fog clung to every surface and icy winds whispered through the corridors, Prince Junguk, known to be the cold-hearted prince, found himself inexplicably drawn to the warmth that originates from the palace kitchen. It was the first time he encountered with the laugh of a beautiful woman who works in the palace kitchen alone with others. He never found himself drawn to anyone, not interested in love, but when he saw her, he couldn't help himself but to get attracted to her. At first, Junguk watched her from afar, captivated by the way she moves with grace and ease, unaffected by the cold that surrounds them. As days turned into weeks, Jungkook's curiosity grew and he found himself seeking out any excuse to visit the kitchens. Despite his royal status, he felt strangely at ease in her presence, his worries and insecurities melting away like snow in the spring. When the cook and maid saw Jungkook entering inside the kitchen, they bowed down to the prince while he signaled all of them to leave. Only you were there, unaware of his presence. You were busy in preparing the food while humming a song. Jungkook smiled and watched you preparing a meal. "Good morning, Ryan," he greeted, his voice soft than usual. You turned back surprised by his unexpected visit. You looked around the empty kitchen and then shifted your gaze at him. "Good morning, Your Highness. What brings you to the kitchen today?" Jungkook shrugged, a small smile playing at the corner of his lips. "Just thought I'd see how you are doing and perhaps indulge in some of your delicious cooking." You chuckled, a musical sound that echoed through the room. "Well, you are always welcome here, Your Highness, but I must warn you, today's menu might not be fit for a prince's palate." Jungkook shook his head, his eyes sparkling with amusement. "I'm sure whatever you make will be wonderful, as always." As you returned to your work, Jungkook lingered nearby, watching you with a warmth in his gaze that had nothing to do with the crackling fires in the hearth. "You know, Ian, I often find myself wondering how you can be so unaffected by all this." You looked up, curiosity dancing in your eyes. "By all of what, Your Highness?" Jungkook gestured to the icy walls of the palace around them. "The cold, the isolation, the weight of duty and expectations. It seems like nothing phases you." You smiled gently, setting aside your knife to give him your full attention. "I suppose I have just learned to find warmth in unexpected places, like the laughter of friends or the simple joy of creating something with my own two hands." Jungkook's heart swelled at your words, a rush of emotions flooding through him. "You truly are remarkable, Ryan. Others should learn from you how to find happiness in every small thing." You smiled. "I'm just a commoner, Your Highness. I want to live a happy and peaceful life, that's it." He smiled slightly. "You're the only one in this whole kingdom who has the power to make him smile, and you don't know about it." A meeting was held in the grand chamber of the palace. Prince Jungkook stood before his parents, King John and Queen Sophia, as well as the gathering of royal advisors. One advisor stood up and bowed before starting the meeting by the king's order. "Your Highness, the northern province reports a shortage of food supplies. The harsh winter has decimated their crops and the people are growing desperate." Prince Jungkook was listening to them intently, his expressions cold as ice, as no one has ever seen him smiling. He is titled as the cold-hearted prince, who is as cold as the ice. "Send word to the provincial governors. We will allocate additional resources to aid those in need. No one in Frostburn shall go hungry under our watch." King John smiled, feeling proud of his son's kindness towards his subjects, no matter what others say about him. Every head nodded with approval from the assembled advisors, but his mother, Queen Sophia, is worried to see his son throwing himself in work and not taking time to think about himself. She came near him and placed her hand on his arm. Junguk, my son, I fear you are taking on too much. You cannot bear the burden of kingdom's woes alone. Jungkook's gaze flickered briefly to his mother before returning to the maps spread out before him. As heir to the throne, it is my duty to ensure the welfare of our people. I will do whatever is necessary to fulfill that duty. King John sighed, his expression troubled. Your heart may be in the right place, Jungkook, but ruling with only your head can lead to isolation and resentment. Remember that a king must also be compassionate and empathetic to the needs of his subjects. I understand, father, but sometimes difficult decisions must be made for the greater good of the kingdom. Queen Sophia was not at all pleased by his son's words. As a mother, she can't see her son spending life in loneliness. Jungkook, my son, you know as well as I do that the time has come for you to consider marriage. It is tradition and it is expected of you as heir to the throne, and we want you to get ready for the marriage. Jungkook looked at both of his parents. Now he knew why they were talking that way. Mother, I understand the importance of tradition, but I fear that now is not the right time for me to pursue such matters. It was clearly an indirect no to them. And why is that, Jungkook? Do you doubt the wisdom of our traditions, or do you simply fear the responsibility that comes with marriage? Jungkook remained silent. He knew that if he said yes, he has to marry a princess of another kingdom according to the traditions. But now it's not possible for him, not after he gave his heart to you. The king stepped forward when he didn't get any response from his son. Jungkook, I understand your dedication to our kingdom, but marriage is also a part of your duty as prince. It is through alliances with other noble families that we ensure the strength and security of Frostburn. I simply believe that there are more pressing moments at hand. The stability of our kingdom is paramount, and I must focus all of my efforts on ensuring its prosperity. And with that said, he bowed to his parents and left from there. Will he ever listen to us? She said, looking at the king, worried. Don't worry for the throne. And to become the king of this kingdom, he has to marry. Jungkook came outside a grand chamber. He was angry and frustrated. He knew he can't avoid marriage completely, but going opposite to the traditions, he wanted to marry a girl that he loved and not bound with traditions. He wanted to break this tradition. He wanted no princess. His heart has connected to you, and in his eyes, you are his queen. As he walked past the hallway, his eyes fell on a figure walking in the snow-covered garden. He stopped and squinted his eyes only to find that it was you. His heart skipped a beat. He forgot all the thoughts he was fighting with a second ago. He quickly made his way towards the stairs and to enter in the snow-covered garden. The crunch of his boots, the only sound breaking the silence. His breath hung in the air in puffs of white as he made his way through the snow-covered shrubs and winding paths. As he finally came to the place, he spotted you sitting in the garden of tulips, removing the snow from their delicate petals. Jungkook couldn't help but to smile at the sight of you, your determination and dedication to your task evident even in the face of the biting cold. He approached quietly, not wanting to startle you, but his presence did not go unnoticed for long. You looked up, your eyes widening in surprise at the sight of the prince standing before you. Your Highness, I didn't expect to see you out here in the cold. He shrugged, a playful glint in his eyes. I could say the same for you, Vian. What brings you out here on such a wintry day? You smiled, gesturing to the snow-covered tulips. I wanted to make sure the flowers weren't weighed down by the snow. They deserve to be seen in all their beauty, even in the depth of winter. Jungkook nodded in understanding. You have a kind heart, Ryan, always thinking of others even in the coldest of times. Your cheeks flushed at the compliment, a soft smile gracing your lips. Thank you, Your Highness, but I must admit, it's not often that I see you out here in the gardens. Is there something on your mind? Jungkook hesitated for a moment, the words caught in his throat, but then he felt the warmth of your smile and the gentle twinkle in your eyes. He found the courage to speak. I wanted to see you, Ryan. I wanted to spend some time with you, away from the chaos of the palace. Just you and me surrounded by the beauty of winter. He finally confessed his feelings so that you also know why he's so into you, why you are so special for him. Your eyes widened in shock and your heart dropped. Your Highness, what do you mean by spending time with me? Your heart was pounding in your chest. Jungkook paused, turning to face you with a gentle smile. Because I enjoy your company, Ryan. You bring a warmth to my heart that I have never known before. You gulped, not understanding the real meaning behind his word. But I'm just a maid. I'm not worthy of your attention, Your Highness. Jungkook reached out gently, taking your hand in his. You are more than just a maid. You are kind and compassionate, with a beauty that shines from within. And I find myself drawn to you in ways I can't explain. You felt goosebumps when his hands touched yours. You quickly pulled back your hand and lowered your head. My apology, Your Highness. A prince is not supposed to love a commoner. This is not right. There are some boundaries. Jungkook shook his head, his eyes never leaving yours. Love knows no boundaries, Ryan, and I know in my heart that you are the one I want by my side, no matter what anyone else may say. Tears filled in your eyes. You were so scared by the decision of him. But it's not right. A prince and a maid, it's impossible, and even if it wasn't, no one would accept it. Your voice trembled and a tear even escaped from your eyes. He took a step closer to you and you flinched when he wiped the tear away from your cheek. I don't care about what's expected of me, Ryan. All I care about is you and the love I feel for you. Please give me a chance. But you are a prince. You're supposed to marry a princess, not a maid like me. His heart clenched at your words. He understood that you are scared, but all he needs is an approval from you, a sign that fighting for this love would be worth it. Princess or maid, all that matters is whom you feel connected. You are a queen in my eyes, and no other woman can make me change my decision. I just want to know that you love me too. That's all I want to know, and I'm ready to sacrifice anything to make you the queen of my heart. Your heart cried. Even if you love him, you can't step out of your boundaries. Not only it will stain your character, but can change his life for bad. You couldn't erase the voice in your head, reminding you the barriers that stood between both of you. With a heavy heart, you took a step back, your eyes glazed with unshedded tears. I'm sorry, Your Highness. I can't be the one to come between you and your duty to the kingdom. You deserve someone who can give you everything you need, not a lowly maid like me. Your voice came in a whisper, choked with emotions, and with that you walked away from there, leaving him standing. He felt his world crashing down, but he's not the one to give up that easily. He knew that you are just afraid of kingdom's boundaries, and he will step outside of them just to make you his. If I ever become the king, only you will be my queen. I will show that love has no boundaries. Queen Sophia swallowed. She couldn't digest the scene she just witnessed in front of her eyes. Now she understood why he doesn't want to marry any princess from the other kingdom. This shouldn't happen. I have to talk to him before it's too late. She knew how stubborn her son is, and it would be impossible for her to convince him to leave you. He gathered her cloak tightly around her. No one would accept a prince's love for a mere maid, and the very foundation of the kingdom could be shaken to its core. Junguk came in his mother's room after getting her order. He knocked and came inside while Queen Sophia turned towards him. She was desperately waiting for him to discuss about everything she just witnessed. She just wanted to know what's going on in his mind. "You called, mother?" She nodded and walked towards him. "Yes, I did. And I don't know what to say to you. What you are up to?" Junguk furrowed his brows in confusion. "What is that, mother?" She studied him carefully. Junguk could see concern and worry displayed on her face. After a short pause, she continues, her voice gentle but firm. "Junguk, I saw what happened in the garden. I don't really know what's going on, but I can tell that whatever it is, it's not looking good." Junguk swallowed. Finally, the time has come that he has to tell everything, and he's not stepping back, he decided. "Mother, I know what you saw in the garden earlier was unexpected, but I can't apologize for how I feel. Whatever you witnessed is exactly what you are thinking right now." Her heart dropped as she covered her mouth. "No, it's not. You can't do that, Junguk. You must understand the implications of your actions. A prince cannot simply fall in love with a maid. It goes against everything our society stands for." Junguk looked at her. He was so surprised to see such words coming from her own mother. "But why, mother? Why is it so shameful for a prince to love someone regardless of their station in life? Wayan is kind, compassionate, and everything I could ever want in a partner. Why should I deny myself that happiness just because of her status?" The queen was scared of the consequences which will come after her son's decision. She knew it can be the end of everything, and she was trying to make him understand. "Junguk, I understand that you care for Wayan deeply, but you must consider the consequences of your actions. The people of our kingdom may not be as accepting as you hope." He took a step closer to his mother. "I don't care about the opinions of others, mother. If I am to marry anyone, it will be Wayan. She is the one I love, and I refuse to let anyone stand in the way of our happiness." "Oh, Junguk, try to understand. There are other princesses. You can choose to marry anyone. Why only Wayan?" Junguk smiled in amusement. He never expected this from his mother, because she is the only one my heart has chosen, and no other woman can shadow her. The queen's heart ached for her son, torn between her love for him and her duty to the kingdom. "Junguk, please, think of the stability of this kingdom. Think of your responsibilities as a prince," she pleaded. "I'm sorry, mother, but I have thought about it, and I cannot marry anyone other than Wayan. She's my heart, my soulmate, and I will do whatever it takes to be with her." With that, Junguk left his mother's chambers, leaving her to grapple with the weight of his words. For she knew that her son's love for a mere maid threatened to upend the very foundation of their kingdom, and she feared what the future might hold. Junguk came in the kitchen and signaled everyone to leave. The cooks and maids looked at each other, but they cannot disobey the prince, so they left from there. But you were completely lost and have no idea what is happening because your mind was far from the task in hand. You were thinking about his confession a while ago. As you stirred the pot on the stove, your thoughts drifted back to the conversation in the snow-covered gardens. You couldn't shake off the fear that gnawed in your heart, the knowledge that your love was forbidden, impossible, and utterly dangerous. Junguk came near you, Wayan. Your heart dropped when you heard his voice. Your hands paused and you turned towards him. Your Highness, what are you doing here? You stammered but could also see the seriousness on his face. I came to see you. I needed to talk to you. Your heart skipped a beat. Your pulses quickens at his words. About what? He took a deep breath. About us, about the feelings I confessed to you earlier. You quickly looked down. Your Highness, I don't know what to say. I'm scared. Please understand this. Junguk reached out, gently taking your hand in his, making you startled. I know I am, but we can't let fear dictate our lives. We have to fight for our love, no matter the odds. As long as you say that you also feel the same, you don't need to be scared of anything. I'm giving you my words. Your eyes brimmed with tears as you looked into his eyes, your heart torn between love and duty. But what about the kingdom, Your Highness? What about your responsibilities? Junguk shook his head, his grip on your hands tightening. I'll worry about the kingdom later. Right now, all that matters is us. I love you, Vian, and I'll do whatever it takes to be with you. A tear left from your eyes. Junguk wiped it gently with his thumb and looked in your eyes with love. Vian, I've never asked for anything in this world, but I don't want to let you go. Try to understand me. I just want to know that you love me too. Fear started to fade away a little as you believed in him and nodded. Yes, I also love you. A weak smile appeared on his face. It was showing the happiness within him. This is all I want to hear. Now just see how I changed this tradition. For a man, the woman who stole his heart is the queen. She's better and above all those princesses who get that privilege by birth. He hugged you while you closed your eyes, letting the tears and the fear goes away. The wait was finally over when Prince came out to address his subjects. Everyone was curious to know why they are ordered to gather at the kingdom. You were beside his mother, dressed up beautifully and not like a maid. He stood staring before looking at everyone. My dear subjects, Junguk's voice echoed through the grand hall, commanding the attention of all who were present. His eyes swept across the room, meeting the gaze of noble courtiers. I stand before you today to speak from the depth of my heart. For too long, our society has been bound by rigid traditions and expectations, but love knows no boundaries, and it cannot be confined by titles or status. The king and the queen exchanged glances at each other. Eventually, they were concerned, but they didn't stand against Jungkook's decision. Your heart was pounding in your chest. You have no idea what was going to happen. Whispers of curiosity and uncertainty rippled through the crowd, but Jungkook ignored everything and stood still on his decision. He knew people were going to talk about, but he doesn't care now. I have found love in the most unexpected of places. He continued, his eyes locking with yours across the room, in the kindness of a maid, in the warmth of her smile, and in the depth of her heart. Gasps of shock and disbelief filled the air, but Jungkook paid them no heed, his focus solely on the woman who had captured his heart. I love Vian, he declared boldly, and I refuse to let societal expectations dictate who I can and cannot love. Whether she be a princess or a maid, she is the one I choose to stand by my side. Your eyes teared up. Never in your dreams you thought your destiny is written this way. A prince is fighting for you with the whole world, and he's not at all ashamed to tell them that he's in love with you, a mere maid from the palace. As Jungkook made his bold declaration of love in front of the gathered crowd, his father King John watched with a mixture of concern and pride. At first his brows furrowed with worry as he observed the unfolding scene, unsure of how the kingdom would react to his son's unconventional choice. And the crowd murmured and whispered among themselves. King John stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. Jungkook, you have shown tremendous courage today, my son, to love fearlessly and boldly, regardless of societal expectations, is a testament to your strength of character. He looked at you and then at his son. If Vian gives happiness to my son, if his heart beats for her, if they both love each other, then no one has the right to separate two lovers. I am the king of this kingdom. Announce that my son, the prince, is allowed to marry the girl of his choice and no one has the right to interfere in this. Jungkook's mother came and gave your hand in his. You can have your queen, son. Sorry for not understanding you earlier. Jungkook couldn't believe it was real nor you. He bowed down in front of his parents and you followed. Thank you so much. His father smiled. Our blessings are with you. Hope you both will remain happy in your lives. The crowd cheered, accepting the princess's newfound love. You and Jungkook smiled and looked at each other. At last, everyone has to accept your love because it was true.